No, Daniel and I are not part of a work release program. We are here for Locked On Bulldogs, your team every day. And guess what we're talking about? This or that. Would you rather get with this or that? Daniel, I'm going to pose him a question about watching football with two fan bases that might make him grab a bucket. Why this is important for you next on Locked On Bulldogs.
You are Locked On Bulldogs, your daily podcast on the Georgia Bulldogs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Locked On Bulldogs podcast. Clint is hard at work over there letting you know that today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel.com/LockedOn. More on them in a moment. We love FanDuel. We love white t-shirts, and we love the Georgia Bulldogs. And so we are here to talk about them. No lies detected in the opening part of the podcast. People love the banter, and we are here for it.
You have to know, if you watch us or listen to us for a week straight, and my boy and I aren't together, you know the next couple are just going to be loaded. Okay? You know this.
Yeah. This is just the way that it works. Surely the YouTube algorithm is not feeding you this if you've not seen us before. And so if you've seen us before, then you should know what you're getting. So really, it's on you. If you don't like the banter, it's now on you. We're happy that you're here. Subscribe to the show. Subscribe to the audio. Send us an email, lockedonbulldogs@gmail.com. We love interacting with you. Hit us up on Twitter @Dawgs Podcast, all those things. Today we're playing This or That. It's one of our favorite games. It's one of our favorite off-season games. We're going to give you a hypothetical scenario. It's about the Georgia football team. It's about the Georgia football season. It's about you, the Georgia football fan. It could be about anything. We give you the scenario. You simply have to choose if you would rather get with this or if you would rather get with that. Which is better for you? Which is better for the Georgia football team? Which is better for the program, the roster, the fan base? You get the idea. Clint is going to go first and pitch me the first scenario. I am prepared to be hurt, and so do your worst, sir.
On the surface, this seems like a no-brainer. I'm just going to warn you right now.
Look deeper. That's what you're saying.
Would you rather get with this? Pull back the onion layers.
Should I light a candle? Should I stare into the flames of a candle?
And get a candle out. Yeah. You can get with this, which is Kirby Smart's successor is currently coaching at UGA.
Okay.
Or you can get with that. Kirby Smart's successor has to come from outside of current UGA staff.
Follow-up question.
Yes.
Is there a timetable attached to when Kirby Smart's successor is needed?
Thank you. Daniel has already reached level 1 of peeling back the onion. I hope he has already gotten to level 1 of what I hope he got to. He finishes out his contract.
So we're talking about a 10-year window.
10-year, yes.
Okay. Well, really, I'm happy at that point, regardless of what happens, because surely we're not going to go out and hire Caitlin DeBoer, and so
he is recruiting.
The hire won't be
the
bad.
Highest level possible. You thought he couldn't, and he is doing it. Sorry,
No, for sure. He recruited Caleb Downs at the highest level possible. So Kirby finishes out his contract. There's really no way to know what the college football landscape looks like in 10 years.
The best college football coach in 10 years after Kirby?
We have no idea who they are. They may be an analyst somewhere right now, that guy. So really what I'm choosing now is Kirby finishes out his contract. And I have the current staff at UGA.
That's correct.
So we could hire Mike Bobo.
What I'm telling you is there's a chance.
I'd do it just for the content, to be honest with you. Honestly, give me 1 year Mike Bobo just for the downloads, because the Locked On Bulldogs podcast would be
sky rocketing.
What I'm deciding between, Clint, is what you said. Here's what people may have heard. What I'm afraid what you heard was, I want a lot of bacon and eggs. But what you actually said was, you can get with this. Georgia hires Dan Lanning as its next coach, or you can get with that. Georgia hires Glenn Schumann as its next coach. And that was the question that you posed to me.
Okay, but did I ask that question?
You didn't, but that's essentially what I'm making my decision based off of right now.
Okay.
So I'm choosing between Glenn Schumann or I guess T-Rob. I mean, maybe, or I'm choosing who's head coaching material on this.
Those are the two
roster. That's really it. There's nobody on the offensive side of the ball that certainly jumps out at me.
There's Jimmy C.
As soon as you lean towards the microphone, if I could have slapped you through the computer, I would have. It's Todd Hartley is the guy on the offensive side of the ball if I'm going to hire somebody as a head coach. And that's not a bad hire, by the way, South Carolina, down the road. You're looking at Todd Hartley as a head coach.
I didn't laugh at that.
No. Or I'm choosing between Dan Lanning or anyone else.
The field
that's out there. The field.
What I'm basically asking you, and maybe I put it this way: are you banking on Glenn Schumann being the best head coaching option in 10 years?
No, I just don't. Why would I tie all my eggs up into one basket? That's the real thing. And so give me the field, give me outside hire. I think if you go outside hire, you can always bring Dan Lanning home at that point. Who knows where he is in his career, what that looks like. I mean, who knows the situation that's out there, but give me the field because there's going to be a lot of young, talented coaches coming up through the ranks. Maybe we'll hire somebody from the Sun Belt. Maybe a one-time Sun Belt champion we could go out and hire.
You're confusing.
That would be foolish of us to do so. I'm sorry.
We actually have it in our statute that is off limits.
We wouldn't want to do that. We wouldn't want to hire a 3-time Sun Belt non-champion, 1-time Sun Belt champion as our next head coach and assume
but he's recruiting at a
no. Let me stop you right there. All right, I'm gonna go outside hire.
Here's the thing that I'm glad you peeled back. You've made the correct decision, because here's the deal, just straight up. If Glenn Schumann hasn't landed a head coaching gig in 10 years, it's because nobody wants him as a head coach. And
to be fair, he could have left and then come back based on the way that you asked that question.
I did.
You said currently on the staff. And so I was assuming Glenn Schumann's going to leave. But
so
I was saying
and coached Toledo and then came back.
Or he went and coached a lesser program like Florida and then came back.
No, I don't think anybody would do that, Daniel. I don't wish that upon my worst enemy.
Let me wish it upon all of you so you can begin to just acclimate yourself to where you are in relation to your bucket. When Florida fires Sunbelt Billy halfway through the season,
correct?
Do you think they're not going to offer Glenn that job?
Of course they are. And here, let me go a step further. Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
Do you not think that's attractive to Glenn because SEC school with a boatload of money?
I'm gonna go a step further than you. He would be crazy not to take it.
Do you see what we're guys?
So Georgia fans, acclimate yourself to where you are in relation to the bucket.
Remember the buddy doll when you were a child? He's my buddy. That's my bucket. Okay, we're gonna come back after this, and Daniel's gonna give me this or that for the ages. I gave him one; he's gonna give me another one. But first, these, and these are in fact FanDuel. FanDuel's fantastic, Daniel. They're the official sports book of Locked On Bulldogs. I'm gonna read this so well.
You go
I love
ahead.
sports. I love them so much. I want them to not stop. But the playoffs wind down. We get fewer games, and sports aren't sportsing like I want them to. FanDuel lets me keep the sports going whenever I want. All I have to do is open the app and dream up the bets anytime I'm in the mood. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a bonus and a boost daily. That's right. There's something for everyone every day, all summer long. So head over to FanDuel.com/lockedon and start making the most out of your summer. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball.
We're not the best at a lot of things, Clint. I'm not saying we're going to win any podcasting awards. Aren't there podcasting awards?
Somebody messaged us in the comments the other day, Daniel, said that they nominated us.
The 199 is out there. The 199 is out there in force. In force, the 199's out there. Cheers to you.
Cheers to you.
Justin B. tweeting, let us know about that Chili's reservation. But what we do better than any podcast that's out there, and I'd be willing to stake my entire reputation on it.
Well, you are, literally.
We give out references that no one gets more frequently than any podcast on the market today. Okay. Just you and I are the only two people listening to what you just said that know anything about what it is. That's it. Just us. But you know what? That's enough. People love the banter.
They love the banter. Give me the content before people turn us off.
All right. You can get with this. Okay. These are both what I would call severe handicaps for the Georgia football team going into this season. So you need to figure out which one you think we are more adept to overcome. Okay. Georgia begins every offensive drive.
Oh, wow.
And every subsequent set of new downs on second down. Georgia does not get a first down all season long. It's second, third, fourth.
So what you're saying is Kirby Smart has literally burst out of his clothing as the Hulk, just shredded, because he is erupting in anger. Okay, great.
Yeah. So it is anytime we possess the football, it's automatically second down. Anytime we achieve a first down, it automatically becomes second down. We have second, third, and fourth. That's all season long in every game during the regular season.
It's infuriating.
Or you can get with that, which is that Georgia is forced to play defense with 10 players for 5 plays per game every game. And Kirby Smart is allowed to strategically choose which 5 plays it is, but they cannot be special teams plays. They must be defensive plays.
Okay, well,
listen. It's not my first rodeo on this or that. Okay, they must be defensive plays. 10 players on the field, 5 times per game, or no first downs for the Georgia offense.
Okay.
Offense or defense, who is more likely to overcome that imposed penalty?
Do we have more talent on offense or defense and better coaching on offense and defense to overcome what we're trying to achieve on both of those? So off the top, I'm gonna introduce you to my thought process. I'm going to
take us in there. Okay. Take us in there.
Move the armoire and see the secret little cubby hole.
We're asking to be let in.
Yes. Okay. Well, don't stay for long. Here's the deal. At first off, I'm thinking, well, Kirby Smart and staff can selectively choose the best. I trust the wisdom of Kirby Smart and team and staff to select the best 5 plays first, strategically place them within the game. Secondly, to select the player on which they can remove. You didn't say which of the 10 it had to be. So it could be, they could mix up. They could put 5 DBs on the field and 2, linemen, whatever it is. They could mix
2 defensive linemen or something. Yeah, right. Exactly.
Okay, great. That's where my mind immediately goes. But then I think to myself, the teams that we are playing, Texas, Alabama, even even Tennessee with a busted coverage play. What we're saying is a busted coverage, right? So if you're looking at teams that accelerate their offense on a busted coverage, that's Tennessee. All it just takes is one guy getting loose.
5 touchdowns.
That's 5 touchdowns.
5 touchdowns.
That's 5 touchdowns against a.
It's hard to overcome a 5 touchdown deficit. That's tough.
Do we have the ability? Yeah, but every play that you play Milroe in a defense that only has 10, you're not going to be able to take him down, and he's going to be able to run or throw for a touchdown on that. In Texas, same thing.
Yeah, Jackson Dart, Ole Miss, same thing. Yeah.
I think how Kirby Smart can coach, I think he can overcome. This is now the Mike Stoops philosophy. What you've just described as a Mike Stoops Kentucky game against Kirby Smart. And Kirby will get in a phone booth and say, let's go. I trust Mike Bobo on the offense to make good. Losing a down every single time they get a first down. Because we have big playability, because we have Etienne making those gash runs, because our defense is going to hold you down. This is going to sound crazy because you never want to play behind the sticks. That's the verbiage. Yep. You never want to do that as a coach, every single time. But 5 touchdowns against those 3 teams those are 3 losses, and we can't overcome that. So give me second down, starting and getting every first down, which is sickening to think about.
It's a tough scene to think about, but I do think, on offense, you have the ability to go for it on 4th down. Obviously, on defense, 1 busted play, as you said, and the series is over. And so I don't hate it. You are going to see, also you advance the ball, a certain distance down the field. You can stall out and still score points on offense. You might not score touchdowns. You might get field goals. You'll probably see a lot more field goals out of the team, but we've got a great field goal kicker. And so maybe, we capitalize in that way and we try to hold teams down offensively. I don't hate it. I tried to pick a number where if I went low enough on the play total, I could get you to bite.
You give me 3, I'm biting on the defense.
Yeah. If you go to a school that's poorly coached, if you got a Dan Mullen-led program, you got 10 players on the field, about 5 plays a game anyway. Just because you don't have the right personnel and you've already burned all your timeouts.
We should call another timeout
in the first quarter. Let me just get a timeout. Let me just make sure I got the right personnel on the field. All right, we got one more of this or that. We're going to be coming back for it right after these.
The $1.99 here, and if you've lasted the whole episode. The $1.99 has been this entire episode.
If you made it to the beginning of the second segment after the Teddy Ruxpin reference or whatever that was,
look, Teddy read me a book. My buddy was my emotional companion. Those are 2 different vehicles.
If you made it to the beginning of the second segment, you're part of the $1.99. But if you're here, good Lord. We celebrate you, $1.99. We celebrate your entire catalog. I celebrate the man's entire catalog.
Here's the deal. I'm going to hit you with a fan question. It has nothing to do with personnel or coaching. It doesn't have to do with recruiting. It has to do with your experience as a fan taking in Georgia football.
Well, do I take that seriously? I can't tell.
You tend to care about that?
Of the people that do I care about that more than the average person, less than the average person, about the same as the average person?
How I fan. They disbelieve me when I act like, why are you, this isn't a, do I seem like I'm laughing? This is not a joke. I'm being sincere with how I fan. Yes, that's what I do all Saturday long. Yes, that's what I cook. Yes, that's how much I will not talk to you.
No, you're not invited.
And no, you can't come over. Okay, great. You can get with this.
Okay, I'm ready.
Chris Marler is at your house every single Saturday.
Ready. I'm not ready.
Every single Saturday. In the fall for 1/2 of the game.
1/2 of the Georgia game.
1/2 of the Georgia game. Yes. 1/2 of the Georgia game. Chris Marler is in your living room with you. Not all day. He shows up right at kickoff.
Just like a
whatever half you choose. First half or second half. It could be up to you.
Okay.
Ball's kicked. Whistle blows.
Every Saturday.
Every Saturday. Or you can get with that.
Okay.
Which is a fan of the opposing team that you are currently playing. Georgia is currently playing,
Mm-hmm.
is with you 30 minutes prior to kickoff and 30 minutes after final whistle blows.
But not during the game.
No, I'm sorry. During the game. Yes.
Okay.
For that time, for that
For
bracket
the entire duration.
For the entire duration, 30 minutes before and 30 minutes after in the entire game, the opposing fan of the team that Georgia plays is in your home with you.
Okay. Follow-up questions. Is it a random sampling fan, or is it a fan like me of that team?
No, I don't want homicide happening. And so it's not an equivalent. It's not a clone of you on the Kentucky side or a clone of you on the Tennessee
But
side.
it's just a randomly selected fan from the opposing fan base. So they could be a really big fan. They could be an average fan. Do they know the names of all the players?
They know the names.
Do they
of the
watch
players.
every game?
They watch most games. They watch most games.
I already hate them. I already can't respect them at all.
They know most players. They are competent. It's the Clemson fan in your life that you know.
They don't listen to the Locked On version of whatever that team's podcast is. We can say that. They're not a real fan.
They're not a real fan, correct. But they are fan enough to
But they're a fan.
To be annoying.
Do they all have the same level of tact or disrespect, or is it random? It's their personality.
Their personality is random.
So I might get somebody that's very reserved, very polite.
Sure.
I might get somebody that is Chris Marler.
And you know, and I know in the comments section, this is hard. There's people worse than Chris Marler.
Way worse. Because here's the thing, Clint, and I hope he's not listening to this.
I hope he is.
Chris Marler coming to my house for a half of a game every week sounds like a heck of a good time. I'm not going to lie to you. It sounds like every week except one, I would have a great time.
There you go. Honestly, because Chris knows football.
No, it'd be I hate watching the Georgia game with anyone. Because I don't want to talk football. I don't want to talk about how, Georgia got that call. Georgia got lucky on that call. Georgia, whatever. I don't want that. I don't want to interact with that. But he would be a great time to just eat wings and watch football with, obviously, Chris, we love you. Please come back on the show.
He's going to. Trust me.
He has to. Now he's contractually obligated, I believe, to come back on the show. So,
Yep.
Chris Marler, noted South Carolina fan, going to come back on the show very soon. It would be a great time, I think, to watch the game with him. But that 1 week, would we survive?
I'm telling you this right now. Alabama week.
Would we even survive the day? Because you put a random fan in my life, and I'm pretty good at just shutting you out. I can just shut you down, put up the wall, and retreat within, and I'll just watch the game, and I'll be just fine. And let me just say, the more you talk, the more after the game, if you got to hang out with me 30 minutes after the game, son, the more you say during the game.
We don't start things, but we sure as heck finish them.
So, all that being said, it sounds like way too much fun. I mean, we'd be putting together a tasting menu of what we're going to make every week. Give me Marler. I actually want this to happen. Marler, will you drive to Nashville and watch half of every Georgia game with me this year? I need a commitment from you right now.
Daniel, I hope you know.
Clint will fly in, and the three of us will watch half of every Georgia game together.
If you don't think that Nashville will be shut down,
it's an open invitation, Marla. You, me, Broadway, and the Georgia game. Let's do this. Let's do it right.
She on there still. She out there up the boulevard. He is Daniel. I'm Clint. This is Locked On Bulldog, part of Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every single day. We'll see y'all next time.
See ya.